Alright, what's going on, guys? We're gonna make a basic combat system today in game animation sample, so we can do these combos and we can attack in any direction, which is pretty cool. We have the sword and we have like an idle animation while he's holding the sword. Before we get started, I just wanted to give a big shout out to Jonathan Isaacson. I hope I'm saying that right. So yeah, I've learned all of the stuff that I just showed you right now from his videos. He's got a series right now. I haven't seen all of them. I've only seen a couple of them here. So he started it a month ago, so this is like the perfect time to actually get into a series. I know there's a bunch of like combat system tutorials out there, but if you like check them out, there's like 1,000 videos and it can get pretty overwhelming, especially for someone that's new trying to get started. And yeah, this is just really cool because it is in game animation sample. I do recommend to go watch his videos instead of watching mine. I'm just going to show you the basic. The goal of my video is just to try to get somebody started. If you're like new to Unreal and you just want to get started learning something, then my goal for my video is just to try to get you started so you can go and want to learn some more. Also, he's actually showing you how to make it multiplayer, so he's going to show you how to replicate the system too, which I'm not going to do, so definitely go check out his videos. But anyway, let's just get started. So the first thing that we're going to do here is create a new project using game animation sample. If you don't know what that is, I'm assuming that you already have Unreal Engine installed. Okay, so I'm not going to show you that part, but once you've done all of that, you can go to samples and then go to game animation sample. Just click on this button here, just click on the picture, and it should take you to this page over here in the fab page. You can just add this to your library, and then once you've added it to your library, what you can do is just go back into the Epic Games launcher, go to Unreal, go to library, and then click on this button over here, and this is going to refresh all of your content in your library. And then once that's done loading and stuff like that, you can just search for game animation sample. So search for that. Let's create a new project over here. Okay, we've got the project over here now, but we're also going to need to add some animations. So I've got a bunch of animations that I can add into this project. Unfortunately, I don't have any free animations that I could probably share with you. Like I'm pretty sure there's no good animations over here. If we go to price, go to free, I guess you could use these animations by Ramstar. There's these animations too, which I'm actually gonna add these to the library. But yeah, there's a couple of free animations here that you can check out. I'm gonna add the Ramstar to the pack real quick just to see if it's any good, if these animations are good. But I'm also going to add a different animation pack too. So I've added the insane air combos, and I've also added the sci-fi swords pack in this project. So we can open this up now. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do over here is let's just quickly make a new folder in here, and I'm just gonna call this components, and let's open this folder. And in here, right click again, go to blueprint class, and then click on actor component, and we can name this AC for actor components underscore combat. And just make sure you keep saving, guys. And let's open this up real quick and we can dock this, but we also need to quickly go back to the content browser and go to blueprints and open up the sandbox character. And in here, what we're going to do is just add that combat, the actor component combat into here. So in components, click on add and search for combat and add the AC combat. All right, now let's go back to AC combat, and we don't need the event tick, so we can delete it. To be fair though, we will be using it later on, but it's fine. We can delete it for now. And what we're going to do is just get a reference to the character. So right click on an empty part of the graph and search for get owner. And then out of the return value, we're going to cast to character, plug that in to the event begin play, and then out of as character we can just promote this to a variable, and you can name this whatever you want. I'm just going to name it ref character for reference character. Compile, save. And now just to quickly test things out, I'm going to get the left mouse button, and what I'm going to do is out of the pressed, I'm just going to get play montage, and we're going to need a skeletal mesh in here, and that's why we have this reference character. So we can get the reference character, search for mesh or get mesh, and plug that into there. And now we need a montage to play. So we already have some of those animations, which I haven't even checked out yet. So I'm going to check those Ramstar animations right now. And I want to use these because they're free, but if they're not very good, then I am going to use my insane air combos instead. I was really hoping that there was going to be some sword animations, but it looks like they're only hand-to-hand stuff, but they are pretty good though. These do look really good, but they're just not what I'm looking for. So yeah, you're just going to need need some animations. I'm not going to be using the ramp start animations. I'm just going to use my insane air combos, so animations. And what we want to do is retarget the animations that you're using. So for this example, I'm just gonna click on any one of these and right click, and we're going to retarget animations. And then for the target skeleton, it's going to be UEFN. So this is our character. And then I'm just going to retarget some of these combo animations over here. So export animations, and I'm gonna make a new folder called animations. I'm gonna make another folder in here for UEFN and export. Okay, and now what we also need to do is make sure that these animations have root motion. So you can highlight all of them by click on one of them, hold shift and click on the last one, then right click, and we want to go to asset action and edit section in property matrix, and then go to root motion and enable root motion. Click on save. Let's go back to the content browser and highlight all of them again. Oh, but actually, you know what I'm going to do is just quickly create a new folder in here called montage and highlight all of them, right click, go to create and create anim montage. I'm just going to drag these into this folder here. I'm just doing that to make things clean. So we have these montages in here. Let's just quickly add one of these into here just to see if it is working. Compile, save, and let's go to, and now let's just play. Go to default level and play. So as you can see now, it is actually playing. If I click the left mouse button really fast, he's just going to keep on playing the animation, but it is playing. You just need to remember to put the root motion on your animations, otherwise it's gonna look really, really bad. Okay, so now we're going to make it so we can actually have some combos. So we're going to add a new variable here, and we're going to call it combo count, and we're going to change this to an integer, which means a number, and we can just drag this out, get it, and what we're going to do is just get an increment int, so you can get add, and it will give you this, and we can plug that into there like that. And now drag out the combo count again, and out of it, get a select node. So this one over here, not select int, but this one here, and just plug the return value into the montage to play. And then, as I said, I have about 5 or 6. I have 6. So we're going to add 6 pins here and just plug those animations in here one by one. So I like doing it like this. So I'm going to grab the first one, plug it into there, second one into there. Okay, so we've got all of that, but we also now need to make it so, because once you do this, once you press play, he's only going to play the animations once. So once he finishes doing all of these animations, all of these 6 animations, he's not going to do them anymore. So we need to make it so we can restart the animations basically. What we're going to do is just out of the combo count over here, we're going to get a greater node. So this right here, out of here, we're going to get a branch, plug that into there like this. We're going to change this to the amount of combos that you have. So in this case, I do have 6 combos, but we're going to only be using 5 because as you can see, there's 5, option 5. So I'm going to put it on 5. So for example, if you have 3 animations here, then you're going to want to put this onto 2. Hopefully that makes sense and I'm not butchering it, but I guess I am kind of butchering it. Anyway, I'm going to plug the combo count into here and we're going to leave this back to 0 because we want this to start again. And that's pretty much it for the combos now. So now if we just quickly test this out and play, so I should be able to do all of my animations. That's all of them, and I can just repeat it. We do still have the problem where like I can just do these animations really quick all the time, which we'll fix in a second. One more thing that I do want to add is a way, so once I do that animation and I wait for 1 second, I want the animation to restart. So we can do that pretty easily too. Out of this node right here, the increment, we can just get a sequence node, and out of then 0, we're going to get a retriggerable delay for 1 second, and then out of the complete, we're just going to duplicate the combo count back to 0, and that's it. So now if I press play and attack and wait for 1 second, you'll do the same attack again. But if I attack and like do it quickly before 1 second, basically he will just continue doing the attacks. But yeah, and then he'll just go back to the first attack. Okay, so now to sort out the like this where he can just keep on doing the animation, let's just go back to Combat Fury and make sure you save, guys. File, save all, or you can click on this button to save all as well. What we're going to do here is let's create a new variable in here called, you know what, I'm just going to call it is attacking. It makes more sense to me. And we're going to change this to a Boolean. Drag this out a little bit, drag this into the graph, and out of is attacking, get a branch and plug that in like this. Okay, so now we need to create a notify state for our animations. So compile, save again, go to the content browser, and let's go back into the blueprints folder. And I'm going to create a new folder in here as well called notify. That's fine. Open this up and right click, go to blueprint class, go to all classes and search for notify state. Anim notify state. Select this and we can call this NS, I guess, for notify state attacking. That should be fine. NS attacking. And what we're going to do is add this NS attacking to all of our animations. So let's just go back to our animations over here and we're going to add them all into here. So let's go to number 1 first, open this up, and in notifiers, as you can see here, we can just right click, go to add notify state, and you should find your one right here saying NS underscore attacking or whatever you've named it. So I'm just going to add it right here. And what we want to do is basically we want this notify to finish like where he's done attacking. So right here is where I want the next attack to start. Hopefully that makes sense. But anyway, just add this notify to all of the animations. I'm not going to do this perfect. You can obviously spend as much time as you want in here, just getting it like refined or whatever. But I'm just going to go through this really quickly. Okay, so we've done that. We also need to now add some logic to that notify. But what we're going to do first is let's go back to the components folder and we're going to add a blueprint interface in here. So just right click and go to blueprints and add a blueprint interface. And let's name this BI for blueprint interface combat component. And we can open this up now, compile, save. All right, so in here, we're going to change this new function name to something like cool attacking, I guess, cool attacking. And we're going to add an input in here as a Boolean. And this is just going to be named attacking. That's it. Compile, save. And let's go to AC Combat. And what we're going to do is go to class settings and we're going to add that interface into this component here. So in implement interface, go to add, and then add the BI underscore combat component. And all I'm going to do here is just double click on this cool attacking over here in interface. You should see this cool attacking. You could probably search for event cool attacking as well. Yeah, you can search for it. And now what I'm going to do is just grab that variable that we added here is attacking, grab that, say in here and connect it up like this. And now lastly, let's go back to the content browser. Let's go to our notify folder and open up the NS attacking. And what we're going to do is in functions, click on override, and you want to open up the receive notify begin, drag this out a little bit. And now what we're going to do is in mesh component, get owner, and you want to get this right here, components get owner. Out of the return value, we're going to find component by tag. Having the get component by tag, we can add a tag in here, something like combo, and then we can just copy this tag. And let's go to our sandbox character, click on AC underscore combat, and then search for tag in the detail panel and add a tag in here, the same tag that we added over here. And that's pretty much it. That's like a really easy way of doing it. So that way it's only going to search for that tag and it's not gonna like bloat the system basically. At least that's what I got from the explanation from him. And now out of the find component by tag, we can call attacking message. This is from our interface. And now we can just connect it up like this. So when we are attacking, so once this notify begins, it's going to not be able to do any input basically, and then once we end, we're going to enable the input again. So that's why in the begin play right here, notify begin play, this is going to be unticked, so this isn't going to be enabled. And we're just going to copy these nodes, and we're going to go to notify end and just paste those nodes into here just like this and connect them up like this. And the only difference here is just we're going to enable this. So now we should be able to do the next input. Okay, so now with all of that done, if we can exit out of all of these, we go to AC, we should be able to, this should be working. So we have the is attacking in the branch on true. Oh, one more thing that we should actually do is with our is attacking a boolean, we just want to make sure that this is ticked. So just make sure you compile, then go to is attacking, and then just make sure that this is ticked, is true. And we have the event is calling right here with our variable plugged in. Okay, so with all of that, then this should be working. Yeah, it's definitely working. I'm like spamming the mouse button. I don't know if you can hear it. So now, so we can do some directional attacks. So like, if I'm looking that way, I want the character to be attacking that way. Basically, if I'm looking that way, and all right, you get the point. So let's just do that now. Let's go to content browser again, and I'm going to go into my components folder, right click blueprint, and go to structure, and we're going to name this s_movement vector, and we can open this up. So we're going to add two variables in here. Both of them are going to be float, so just change both of these to float. And the first one here is going to be x, and the second one is going to be y. Okay, we can exit out of here now. Let's go back to the content browser, and we're going to open up the BI combat component again, and we're going to add a new function in here, and we're just going to name this cool movement vector, and then the input is going to be the structure that we made, so s_movement vector, and the input we can name movement vector again. Save, compile, exit out of here. Let's go to AC_combat and add a new variable in here called current movement vector. And this is also going to be our structure that we created, the s_movement vector. Compile, save. Now we can just double click on call movement vector and plug this in like this. So grab the current movement vector, plug it in like this, plug that into there. Okay, so now we're going to create our first function here. So click on add function, and we're just going to simply name this get character movement direction, and we're going to add a output over here of a vector, and this is going to be right vector, and we're also going to add a forward vector. So just click on add and add a forward vector, name it forward vector. So what we're going to do is right click and get player controller, and out of here get control rotation, and with the return value, right click, and we want to split struct pin, grab the return value z or the yaw, and get a make rotator, and we want to actually plug this into the z. And now of the return value, search for get right vector and also get forward vector, and simply just plug these in like this. Okay, and we're going to create another function as well called get input rot or rotation, and this is going to have one output in here as a rotator, and it's going to be called input rot. And in here, what we're going to do is get the reference for our character, get it. We're going to get actor location, and let's grab the function that we just created, the get character movement direction, and we want to turn this into a pure function. So just select it and click on pure right here. And what we're going to do is grab the current movement vector, get it, and we want to right click on this and split struct pin. And what we're going to do is out of right vector, we want to get a multiply, so like this, and the current movement vector x is going to go into here just like this, and we're going to copy this node right here to multiply, put the forward vector into the top here and the y onto the bottom. And out of the add actor location, we're going to get a add, so just search for add, then add a new pin in here and connect them up like this. And out of actor location again, we're going to we're going to find look at rotation, and we're going to connect that on to the target and connect the return value into the input rotation. Okay, so let's quickly go to the sandbox character, and we want to find the movement input right here. And what I'm going to do is drag out the AC combo or combat and search for cool movement vector. We want to plug this into here like this, right click on movement vector and split struct pin. We also want to grab the action value and search for break vector 2D, put the X into the X, the Y into the Y. Let's go back to AC Combat, and what we're gonna do is let's just drag this stuff out of the way real quick, and we're going to get the get input rots, and we're going to plug it in like this, and we're going to promote the input rot into a variable. We're actually going to be using an event tick, which I know isn't great, but the way he shows us how to do it in the video is actually really cool. So we're only using the tick when we need to use it. So what we're going to do real quick is let's go back to the sandbox character and go to AC Combat, and what we're going to search for is tick, and we want to untick start with tick enabled, so just untick that, and let's go back to AC Combat again, search for set component tick enabled, and we're going to connect it up like this. This is going to be true, and we can connect that up into there. And what we're going to do is in our event called attacking, we're going to grab a branch, and the condition is going to be is attacking, and then for if we are attacking, then we want the tick set component enabled tick to be false. Okay, so now we can grab the event tick, so we can grab it anywhere, search for event tick, and we're going to get the reference character, get reference character out of it, search for set actor rotation, and we're going to out of the new rotation, we're going to interp 2, so just search for interp 2 and get this. The delta time is going to be here. Grab the input rotation, and this is going to be into the target, and we also want to get the actor rotation, so out of the ref character, get actor rotation, and plug that into the current, because we don't want to change the current actor's rotation, we just want to change the target. And the interp speed is going to be how fast the character is actually going to turn to that rotation, to that new rotation. So the lower the number, the slower he's going to go. The faster the number, the faster he's going to turn. So I'm going to put this something to like 13, 15 is probably pretty good, and we can just connect this up like this, just like that. Actually, one more thing that we need to do is let's duplicate this get actor rotation, paste it into there, put the target into the target like that. We want to split the return value, and we want to split this return value. So just disconnect it and split it. And we want to also split the new rotation, because we only want to affect the Z value. Everything else is going to be not changed. So now we can test this out real quick, see if this is working. And as you can see, he's actually attacking where I'm looking, which is really cool. The last thing that we're going to do in this video is just add a sword and also add a overlay to our animations, which is going to be super simple to do. I just wanted to also just say, like, honestly, these videos that he's putting out are so good. They're like one of my favorite combat videos that I've seen so far, especially in-game animation sample. So yeah, just please 100% just go give his videos a watch. Yeah, let's just get into the last part now. Okay, so let's go back to the content browser. In our components folder, let's make a new blueprint class of an actor, and we can name this VP weapon or weapons. Let's save all, click on file, save all, open this up, and we're going to add a static mesh here. In components, add static mesh, and let's name this weapons, and drag this to the default scene root. So we're going to be replacing this, and for the static mesh, you're going to use the sword that we had, that I added. So just use any weapon that you have. You can probably find a bunch of weapons now on Fab. You can find some weapons even on like Quixel Bridge too. So I'm just going to use this weapon here that I've got already, and I'm going to put that into there just like that. Okay, compile, save, and now let's go back to our sandbox character, go to mesh. And we want to open up the skeletal mesh asset, because we want to add the socket onto here, because I think this is going to be the easiest way to do this. So in our preview animations, I'm just going to search for one of these combo animations over here and pause it from when he's holding the weapon like this. And what I'm going to do is just search for hand_R, right click and add a socket over here. Let's name this socket weapon. Also right click on weapon now, go to add preview asset and search for sword, or search for whatever sword that you're using. I'm currently using this sword over here, and it is super massive. So we're going to actually make it a little bit smaller, but also we're just going to fit it into the hand. So there's not really too much to explain here. We're just just going to be putting this sword into the hand. Okay, so you can spend as much time as you want here. I'm just going to do this quickly. Okay, that's fine for me. We're going to exit out of here now. And now let's go back to AC_combat. And this is kind of a mess right here. So what I'm going to do is just quickly just clean things up. For these nodes right here, I'm just going to select all of them, click on C, and I'm just going to name this combo. For the event begin play, we're going to name it event begin play. But these ones over here, we're going to name them cool events. And this one is our direction, or event tick actually. Okay, that's fine. That just looks a little bit more cleaner. Okay, now let's add a custom event. So right click and search for add custom event. And we're going to name this equip weapon. And now here we're going to get a spawn actor from class. The class is going to be our BP weapon, BP weapons. The collision handled override is going to be always spawn, ignore collision. And actually one more thing that we need to do is let's ignore all of that. Let's go back to BP_weapons, and we want to search for collision, and we want to change the collision preset from block all to no collision. Let's go back to AC combat, and for the spawn transform, we want to search for get owner, out of return value, get actor, transform, and plug that in like this. And let's also promote this to a variable. We can name this current weapon. And now here we can get a attach actor to components. The socket name is going to be the socket name that we added. So if we just quickly go back and see what that socket name was, it is a weapon. So we can just copy this name and paste it into there. The location is going to be snap to target, snap to target, snap to target. And the parent is going to be our ref character, get ref character, and get mesh, and plug that into there. And now what we can do is let's go to our event begin play, and we can add this equip weapon into here. So search for equip weapon, and let's test this out. So he does have the weapon, but obviously he's not actually holding the weapon when he's idle, which isn't great, but we will change that in a second too. And one more thing, this is just really good practice, is we want to validate the weapon so we don't duplicate the weapon or hold like a million weapons at the same time of the same sword basically. So what we can do is we can grab our current weapon, get it, and we want to turn this to a convert to validated get, plug that into there just like this. And what we're going to do is out of current weapon, we're going to destroy the actor. So if the weapon is already valid, then we're going to destroy the weapon if we already have one, so we don't duplicate it basically. But if not, then we're just going to spawn it into there, but we're also going to plug that into there too. Okay, so that's all pretty much done now. We can now make a comment here, equip weapon. And last but not least is let's now add an overlay to our character. So what we can do is let's go back to the content browser, go to blueprints, and open up the sandbox character, ABP sandbox character. In animation layers, we're going to create a new animation layers here called overlays, and I'm going to add a new input over here. And the input is going to, out of input, we're going to get a save cache pose, and this is going to be called main pose. And then out of the results of output pose, we're going to get a layered blend per bone. The base bone is going to be our main pose, so just search for main pose, plug that into there. And for the blend pose 0, we need some sort of animation to use. So what I'm going to do is, I'm pretty sure I have an idle animation over here in for our insane air combos. So I'm just going to retarget one of these idle animations here. So what you're going to basically need is an idle animation is what I'm trying to say. So I already have this idle animation here. So I'm just going to retarget this, export animation in animations, UEFN, and I'm just going to drag this idle animation now into here. Make sure that it's looping the animation. We're going to put it into the blend bone 0. And now just click on layered blend per bone, go to layered setup, index, and branch filters. We're going to add a new branch filter in here, go to index and bone name. This is going to be, so if we quickly check right here, we have the hand R, we have the lowered arm. So we can pick one of these. I'm just going to pick the lower arm right. So I'm just going to copy this name and I'm going to paste it into there just like this. And you can experiment with the different bones and see whichever ones look better and whatnot. And you can also experiment with the blend weight and also with the blend depth. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Next, what you need to do is go to the animation graph, and just before the default slot, we want to grab everything, move this to the side a little bit, grab our overlays, plug it into there just like this, plug that into there, plug that into there, test this out. And as you can see, now he's holding the weapon. Obviously, it's just not going to look that great because I think it's the blend weight, or it's the blend per bone, or maybe it's the bone name. Maybe the upper arm might look better, or maybe even the hand might look better. But that's pretty much it. And that's how you get some basic combos done in Combat Fury, in Game Animation Sample. As I said, go check out his videos. He's even got this overlay source. He's going to show you how to make it even better than I did. I just did it really quickly. So yeah, definitely go check out his videos. I think his videos deserve way more views than they're actually getting. But yeah, that's about it. Hopefully you liked the video. Hopefully you learned something, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.